I was originally going to talk about how the movie Sin City was my source of inspiration. I was going to emulate the look and feel of the movie itself for my creative piece. I was extremely excited to get started, and my head was full of ideas on how to take my personal narrative and bring it to life. Excited as I may have been about doing a project like this, I wouldn't have been true to what actually inspired me. I could talk for hours about how my inspiration has been there in so many facets of my life, but in the interest of time, I will fast forward a few weeks before I contacted the military enrollment team at Full Sail. My family and I were living in a town called Texarkana. There's a water tower in town that reads, Texarkana, twice as nice, because the town literally sits on the border of Texas and Arkansas. Pretty clever. My work is what brought us to that town. I was working on a contract with the DoD to train the military on new equipment that was being fielded to them when they would go to Iraq or Afghanistan. It paid well, and it allowed me and Dawn, my wife, to do a lot of things that we will always share and remember. 2 years prior to this, I was assigned to a brand new program, and I was asked to raise awareness of it within the military. At first, I thought a few emails or memos sent out to a few key individuals would do the trick. It didn't. Rumors began to spread that our program was going to get shut down if we didn't get the required funds to continue on further. So I asked all the gentlemen I worked with if they had any video footage on their phones or cameras of our training that I could have to try to make a quick little advertisement and send that off instead of a memo. I wasn't getting paid for this work. I was working because of this work. Eventually, the last video I made for the government about my program was almost 30 minutes long. My wife took notice, and for Christmas this last year, she gave me a GoPro Hero 3 and Final Cut Pro for my new MacBook that I have just purchased on Black Friday. Shortly after, I signed up for the Adobe CC membership, and I was hooked. Valiant as my efforts may have been, there were still issues with the budget that the government had to resolve, and I began to realize that my family was on the verge of losing everything. I talked with my wife about it, and she recommended that I use my VA benefits and go to college. That's a great idea! What do I want to go to college for, though? I looked all over the place, and I wasn't happy with anything I looked at. I even looked into going to a helicopter pilot school and getting my commercial pilot's license, but even then, I wasn't sure about it. After 4 or 5 months, my wife could tell I was distraught. She sat me down on our bed and brought in some cups of coffee and asked me what was wrong. I looked up at her and said, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, and it scares me to death. I'm 30 years old, and I have no idea what I'm doing with my life.
Well, what do you love to do?
I don't know. Stuff?
Well, from my perspective, I don't know. You kind of have a lot of fun with computer animations and all those videos you make for work. Have you ever thought about doing something along those lines?
I mean, yeah, I guess, but not really. I mean, who does that kind of stuff?
Everybody does that stuff. You know how big that field is? I don't know. I looked into it a little bit because I just see you not fulfilling, I don't think, what you want to do in life. You go to work and do the same thing every day. You come home and tell the same stories. You're getting quite boring. And I know that's not your personality. But when you started making those videos, you would spend hours. And there was an excitement in your eyes that I've never seen before. So, I think you should do something you love to do. And then, as the saying goes, you'll never work another day in your life.
Since we've left Texarkana, we have done a complete 180 in our household. My wife works full-time, is wrapping up her bachelor's degree, and is providing for me and our son while I go to school full-time at Full Sail. What an awesome wife. What an awesome friend. And what an awesome inspiration.
Hey, honey.
What?
I love you.
She loves me. I love you too, honey.